So new developments today in the horrifying Christmas market attack in Magdeburg, Germany. The attacker, Taleb Abdelmohsen, wasn't just an asylum seeker. He was a Saudi refugee accused of rape and human trafficking. Here's the shocking part. After fleeing Saudi Arabia, Abdelmohsen manipulated Germany's asylum system by posing as an atheist activist to avoid extradition. While living in Germany, he continued to commit crimes, made explicit threats on social media, and even worked as a psychiatrist in a government hospital. And despite multiple warnings sent directly to German authorities, nothing was done to stop him. On this episode, I'm going to break down how these new revelations expose massive failures in Germany's immigration and security system, how tactics like Takia are being used to flip the narrative, and what this means for the U.S. if we don't learn from their mistakes. So who was Taleb Abdelmohsen? Here's the truth that you're not hearing from the German media. It's being scrubbed, reframed, and filtered. The attacker, Taleb Abdelmohsen, wasn't just a Saudi citizen. He was a fugitive. Let me say it again. He was a fugitive. And in 2006, he fled Saudi Arabia after being accused of rape and implicated in serious crimes. Saudi Arabia formally requested his extradition, but Germany refused, citing human rights concerns. So once in Germany, Abdelmohsen completely reinvented himself as an atheist activist. Let me say that again. An atheist activist. Not a bad little cover. He publicly renounced Islam. This wasn't a genuine conversion. It was a calculated move to manipulate Germany's asylum system. Let's call this what it is. Strategic deception. I come from the intelligence world. I know deception well. It's a textbook example of taqiyya, a doctrine in Islamic law that allows for concealment or deception under certain circumstances, often to protect oneself or advance the agenda. But it gets worse. While living in Germany, Abdelmohsen continued committing crimes, including human trafficking and smuggling young girls from Saudi Arabia. And despite his criminal activities, he secured a job as a psychiatrist in a government hospital. Let that sink in. A man accused of rape, human trafficking, trusted to work in a position of authority in a hospital. Now imagine someone like this infiltrating a U.S. or Canadian holiday market. Would our current systems and border policies be able to stop them? Here's where it gets interesting based on my sources. In the years leading up to the attack, Abdelmohsen made no secret of his intentions. On social media, he openly declared Germany is his enemy. He threatened to run over Germans and called for violence. These weren't just vague statements. These were actually explicit threats. And in 2023, a Saudi woman went so far as to send multiple warnings to German authorities, and she tagged their official social media accounts, emailed them evidence, and begged them to act and to do something. And what was their response? Silence. Efes. Klum. Shum davar, like we say in Hebrew. They dismissed the threats as freedom of expression. And as far as I'm concerned, this wasn't just negligence. It's reckless. It's reckless indifference. Every ignored warning, every overlooked threat contributed directly to the tragedy in Magdeburg. And when governments fail to take these threats seriously, they aren't just failing the public, they're enabling these attackers like Abdelmohsen. Hey, are you guys a fan of the Aaron Cohen Show? Do me a favor, help support the show and become a Season 1 sponsor. Hit the link down in the description and grab yourself a mini sponsorship package. We're completely independently produced, so it helps keep the lights on in the studio and allows me to keep combating that garbage, anti-Israel misinformation while providing you guys no-nonsense analysis of the Mideast, counterterrorism, and national security. Become a sponsor, help support the show. Hit the link down in the description and join my season 1 sponsorship team. Appreciate you guys. Are you guys a fan of Israeli Special Operations? Were you blown away by that incredible pager operation? Grab yourself a copy of my best-selling memoir, Brotherhood of Warriors. I've got a limited number of signed copies available. Hit the link down in the description and learn about our incredible training pipeline and what it was like as one of the first Americans to serve in one of Israel's top special missions units, the elite counterterrorism unit, the Mistar Havim. Hit the link down in the description. Grab yourself a signed copy of my memoir. It helps support the show. Appreciate you guys. Now let's talk about the media. It's where it gets interesting. German outlets have gone out of their way to sanitize Abdel Mohsen's story. לעשות בזה סטריל, to sterilize this thing. Most headlines refer to him as a Saudi citizen, completely ignoring his criminal past, his asylum manipulation, and the repeated warnings sent to authorities. You go on Google and go look at the mainstream legacy media here in the U.S., it looks like the car was the murderer. And they aren't calling him a terrorist. They aren't reporting this on his background. Why? Because they're terrified of offending Muslim groups as being labeled as discriminatory. But you have to call this what it is. It's radical Islamic extreme terrorism. And it's not just Germany. This trend of media silence and misinformation is global. Take the BBC. I won't even go on there, which is glorified individuals with similar backgrounds in the name of so-called human rights. And when the media refuses to report the full story, they're not just misleading the public, they're actively enabling future attacks by hiding the warning signs. Did you know that over 200 people on terror watch lists were intercepted at the U.S. southern border this year alone? The media barely covered it. So I want to beat this down into the ground again. This attack is the direct result of prioritizing political correctness over public safety. By refusing to extradite Abdel Mohsen, by ignoring explicit threats, and by failing to vet asylum seekers properly, Germany created the perfect storm for this tragedy. Here's what it costs. Ina Mahir, 2 lives, including a 9-year-old child, over 70 injured, 15 critically, and an entire country's sense of safety shattered during the holiday Christmas season. This isn't just Germany's failure. Same mistakes are being made across Europe. Europe has fallen. And right here in the United States, fallen also. Our borders are wide open. They have been for the last 4 years with Biden, Harris, and individuals with criminal records and extremist ties are slipping through, have already made it through Trend Aragua and who knows how many terrorists. And if we don't wake up and get this sorted out, it's only a matter of time before we start seeing this play out here. And all I have to say is it's a good thing that Trump and Cohen are coming into the White House on the 20th. So how do we stop this from happening here? What needs to happen? I want to talk about this because on the Aaron Cohen Show, we give solutions. It's not enough to just get up and complain about things. You actually have to provide expertise and color, try and fill in those gaps. I want to talk to the governments who are listening. Extradition requests for dangerous criminals like Abdel Mohsen must be honored. Public safety has to come first. Asylum seekers need thorough vetting, especially those with criminal histories. For law enforcement, social media threats like Abdel Mohsen's can't be dismissed as free speech. They need to be investigated and acted upon. That's actual intelligence. Officers need training to identify manipulation tactics. They need to be educated on Sharia, on Taqiyya. For media, they got to stop covering up these extremist criminals. The public deserves to know the full story, even if it's uncomfortable for you and it doesn't serve the dollars that you pull in for the people that you're advertising to. For citizens, you got to stay vigilant. You see something, you say something, hold your leaders accountable, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, seeing something and reporting it is proven to work. So let's face it, right now, we're seeing how weak this Biden-Harris administration has been with border security. It's a freaking disaster. They've allowed loopholes to remain open and dangerous individuals to slip through. But with Trump and leaders like Cohen coming back into the picture, things are going to tighten up very quickly, and they need to. Our nation's security depends on it because this thing is only going to get worse and continue to metastasize. I want to hit this, though. Talib Abdel-Mohsen didn't just manipulate Germany's asylum system. He exploited their naivete and their fear of offending and their broken immigration policies, which has been all over Europe for the last 20 years. Germany has fallen. This attack was preventable. Yet it happened because too many people looked the other way. Germany doesn't know how to fix this. They need help. The entire EU needs to get together to address this asylum crisis. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Germany's asylum system is failing its citizens? Are we doing enough here in the U.S. to secure our borders and protect our own communities here? Do you think Trump coming in with Holman is going to clean it all up? And how do you feel about the role that media plays in covering or hiding the truth about attacks like this? If this episode resonated with you, do me a favor, hit the like button, share it with someone who needs to hear this. There's a lot of people out there with cognitive dissonance. Show them the video and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. I read them. Your voice matters to me. Let's continue this conversation. Let's keep pushing for real solutions. If you have any additional solutions, drop them down in the comments. Stay alert. Stay informed, stay safe. The Aaron Cohen Show is sponsored by the Cherry's Deep Concealment Holster. This is the same holster I trained Keanu on for the John Wick franchise. It runs below the waistband, means it's never going to fall off you and zero digging into your gut. Also, fits all double stack 9 and 40 Glocks and a ton of other models. And lightning fast draw with just a little bit of training. Go to cherriescounterterror.com. Hit the link down in the description below and grab yourself one of these bad boys. There's a bit of a lead time right now due to demand, so it's a pre-order, but trust me, these bad boys are worth it. Hit the link down in the description and finally carry with comfort and proper concealment. I'm going to keep an eye on this one. I'm going to come back to it as it continues to percolate and develop. I'm Aaron Cohen. You're watching The Aaron Cohen Show, and I will catch you guys soon on the next one.